Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of the Daily Debate. My name is Ahmed Nader, and tonight we're going to focus on the Egyptian celebration of the Labor Day that took place over the past couple of days in the attendance of His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, and the speech that he gave to the attendees during the celebration of the Labor Day here in Egypt, as well as President al-Sisi honoring a number of figures from the labor force here in the country. We will be shedding more light on what happened during the celebration and the achievements that took place under the tenure of His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi for the past 10 or 11 years in this field, and the challenges facing the labor force and how to be overcoming them in the near future under the directives of President al-Sisi. And we will be starting straight away with the main top story for today, and it comes from the presidential activities of His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi through the meeting of His Excellency with a number of foreign dignitaries. As President al-Sisi said that he talks with the President of the Comoros Islands showed the two countries shared views regarding regional and international issues, the forefront of which is the issues relevant to the African Union. Meanwhile, the President received an invitation from the Iraqi Foreign Minister to attend the upcoming Arab Summit with the Palestinian cause in focus. We'll be having more details in the upcoming reports, so stay tuned.
President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi on Sunday asserted that his talks with visiting President of the Comoros Island, Azali Assoumani, showed that the two countries share similar ranks regarding the regional issues of mutual concern. Addressing a press conference with the Comorian leader, President al-Sisi said that the talks touched on issues pertaining to the African Union, developments in Gaza and Sudan, as well as unfolding conditions in the African Horn region, the Red Sea security, and efforts for combating terrorism. The President hailed the strong, deeply rooted ties with the Comoros Islands and expressed a desire to boost bilateral cooperation in different fields. The two sides agreed on the necessity of maintaining united African states relevant to the development pursuits in the continent, such as facing poverty, alleviating debt, and coping with the repercussions of climate change. Separately, President al-Sisi met visiting Iraqi Foreign Minister Fuad Hussein, where he said that Egypt, keenly interested in ensuring the success of the upcoming Arab Summit due to be held in Baghdad later this month. The Iraqi guest delivered the invitation to the head of state to attend the 34th Arab Summit Conference and the 5th Arab Summit's Economic and Social Conference. The President lauded the invitation, saying that he deeply appreciates the strong ties binding both nations. President al-Sisi and the Iraqi Foreign Minister also exchanged viewpoints on the latest regional developments, particularly in Palestine and Syria, reiterating their absolute rejection of Palestinian relocation out of their land and the importance of repelling an attempt to liquidate the Palestinian cause.
Welcome back. You're still watching the Daily Debate, and I'm honored to be having with me over the phone Ambassador Gamal Bayoumi, the former Assistant Foreign Minister. Mr. Ambassador, thank you very much for being with us tonight on the Daily Debate over the phone.
It's my pleasure, thank you.
Pleasure is all mine. Of course, we have seen over the past report the meeting of His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi with his counterpart from the Comoros Islands, Othman Ghazali or Azali Osman, as we did see over for today. How do you see the importance of this meeting, especially with the momentum that we have witnessed over the past weeks and the past months, and ever since under the tenure of His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, in terms of strengthening the bilateral ties with the fellow African states, and more specifically for today with the head of state of the Comoros Islands, the situation in Sudan, the situation in the Horn of Africa, combating terrorism, and of course the other issues pertaining to the African Union?
I am following the presidential activity really with all pleasure of an old diplomat.
Yes.
We lack this sort of diplomacy for 15 years before the revolution. I don't know because of the age of President Mubarak, the late President Mubarak, or because the attack against him in Addis Ababa in his last visit to Africa. So he was not keen to go abroad or to receive presents. And this was an arming process to our foreign diplomacy. We depend on ambassadors, then we go up to the ministerial level, and we were not using at all the presidential level. Now we have a president who is very active. He went everywhere in the world, from far east in Japan to far west in France, up to New York, down to many countries in Africa, which many of us do not know about it. Now it is the Arab dimension with two visits. First to the Comoros president, and Comoros is very dear Arab country, the newest member of the Arab League.
Yes.
And of course we are supporting its independence, and they are really keen to see how Egypt is doing everything. I have a personal experience. I was in a visit to Africa, but
yes.
our plane stopped for 1 hour in the Comoros, and I just say when I entered the airport, Assalamu alaikum. Everybody was very keen to salute me, knowing that I am Egyptian, talking the Arabic with the Egyptian accent. And really, I appreciate this. They like Egypt. They love their being a member state of the Arab community. This is one. The other is the visit of the Vice Prime Minister of Iraq. And Iraq is an old, very dear country to us.
Yes.
I always mention something which it's not attracting the vision of many people, that we have 2 million Egyptians living in Iraq. Of course, they were a little bit affected by the incidents in Iraq since the 90s.
Yes.
But now we have a big community in Iraq, and we know the Iraqis quite well. We are hosting many Iraqis in our country, and they are doing quite well. So those are very important 2 visits to our country,
yes.
and to the Arab dimension of the relations, and of course to the international also, because this sort of negotiation and dialogue is supporting the Palestinian question, supporting the unity in many Arab countries, like what is happening in Syria, in Libya, in Iraq itself, in Sudan, in Yemen. And I am quite sure that the discussion between our president and his 2 guests is taking care of all these questions, which is very top priority to our needs with our foreign policy.
Yes, Ambassador Gamal Bayoumi, the former Assistant Foreign Minister, thank you very much for being with us tonight on the Daily Debate over the phone. And we will be heading to another report for the Daily Debate for tonight, focusing on the main topic for the episode, which will be shedding more light on the celebration of Egypt of the Labor Day and the attendance of His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi in it, and honoring a number of figures from the labor force during the celebration, as well as the reforms and the rights of the labor force that were announced during the speech of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi as the celebration took place. And following the report, Engineer Muhammad Azam, the board member of the International Association for the Management of Technology, will be joining me here in the studio, so stay tuned.